All right, the attacks were flying at last night's third GOP debate, but the candidates weren't just going after each other's records. They took aim at the CNBC moderators as well.
We spoke earlier with Caitlyn Huey-Burns of Real Clear Politics about this new face-off between the candidates and the news network.
For Republicans, it's a good strategy to go after the media because it's something that the base of the party really likes. We saw Ted Cruz go after the media. We also saw Marco Rubio, who had a good debate night, go after the media in general. So it does well among the base. I do think, however, that complaining about conditions and format, I'm not sure how that serves the party in the long run. But we do know that the committee is going to work with the networks to perhaps make sure that it doesn't happen again. What they perceive to be wrongdoings don't happen again.
Well, Caitlyn, Ted Cruz and Christie seem to have gotten high marks for taking on the moderators. Do you think they can leverage that on the campaign trail, and do you think they can get more donor support?
I think they both had a good night after a couple of debates where they didn't really have moments to shine. I think they, both Christie and Ted Cruz, were able to kind of reestablish themselves, reassert themselves in the debate. Cruz as the one who wants to consolidate the conservative support, carve into the base that's supporting so far Ben Carson and Donald Trump. And on the other side of the spectrum, Christie wanted to establish himself as kind of more of the establishment candidate in the race.
Caitlyn, what did you make of the attack that Jeb Bush launched and which Marco Rubio took and then launched his own counterattack when it came to Marco Rubio's attendance record in the Senate? I think the words Jeb Bush used was that it was a French work week. What is this, a French work week? You know, not showing up every day for work. Did that line of attack work?
It didn't. In fact, I think that it backfired against Jeb Bush because he had been previewing that attack all week. So Marco Rubio really came prepared for Jeb Bush to go after him on his attendance record, and he showed some real, athleticism there in answering that question. He was able to turn the tables around and point out Jeb Bush's struggles in his campaign and ways in which he is looking to fight back and find his way back to the top. So I think it advantaged Rubio, disadvantaged Jeb Bush, who out of all the candidates really needed a positive debate performance last night.
And Caitlyn, Ohio Governor John Kasich fired some shots at the frontrunners last night, causing Trump to fire back. Let's listen to that for a moment.
I actually have a plan. I'm the only one on the stage that has a plan that would create jobs, cut taxes, balance the budget, and can get it done because I'm realistic. You just don't make promises like this. Why don't we just give a chicken in every pot while we're coming up with these fantasy tax schemes? We'll just clean it up. Where are you going to clean it up? Folks, we got to wake up. We cannot elect somebody that doesn't know how to do the job.
First of all, John got lucky with a thing called fracking, okay? He hit oil. He got lucky with fracking, believe me. That's why Ohio is doing well. And that's important for you to know. He was so nice. He was such a nice guy. And he said, oh, I'm never going to attack. But then his poll numbers tanked. That's why he's on the end. And he got nasty. So
What did you make of that exchange, Caitlyn? And then later on, we heard from Kasich saying that he was proud that he was a banker. What did you make of that? Because we don't hear that very often.
Right, we don't hear that very often, and Kasich has been defending his record on both counts. What's interesting about Kasich's remarks there, I think, are reflective of the establishment side of the party really trying to fight its way back after a summer and fall, quite frankly, dominated by outsiders. Kasich has slipped in the polls. He was, as we saw at the end of the stage, and is looking for a way back into the race, really. And he's campaigning specifically in New Hampshire, where he thinks that kind of message and tone will appeal. But before the debate and during the debate, Kasich really went after the kind of the state of the Republican Party and the state of the race, really lamenting the fact that voters at this point are choosing those outsiders. And he made a specific plea for voters to choose someone with experience, which he does have a lot of.
All right, Caitlyn Huey-Burns for us. Thank you so much.